4:30.
Okay, I'm gonna call the Albany Board of Selectmen's meeting to order at 4:30. Please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the June 12th, 2024 Selectmen meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of the June 26th, 2024 consent file. Review and sign manifest in the amount of $5,069.35 and $7,914.07. This includes an accounts payable payroll manifest for 6/19 and 6/26 of 2024. Review and discuss June.
No, that's the consent file, just that one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Only one.
Motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who seconded it?
Jim.
Okay.
Review and discuss June 30th, 2024 revenue and expenditure reports. I did not have a chance to look at it. Guilty. I've been too busy, so if you want to discuss away, or we can.
Well, the only thing in reviewing it that I would look at, I don't think we put enough, or someone didn't put enough money in the budget to get us through the whole year. There may be some shortcomings getting toward the end of the year, and I think we should keep a close eye on it.
Okay.
That's, I mean,
No,
that's,
I get it. Well,
you know, I think some things were underestimated and some things were reduced without really giving them a lot of thought. I mean, things that come to mind is I think the planning board's gonna overspend their budget by a pretty good amount. And the zoning board could possibly do the same thing.
okay.
I know in the past, the history of the zoning board has been, you know,
Nothing.
nothing. And that's against the law. I mean, but in looking at it, I think we need to really be watching our pennies and making sure that we can,
Okay.
may have to rob Peter to pay Paul, but
There was discussion about that when we were preparing the budgets, the planning board and the zone, not the zoning board, but the planning board definitely wanted more money. And it was just decided that it was a small amount, so if they overrode, there was money in the budget to absorb it.
They wanted money for legal.
well, I mean, keep in mind, back the last time I was a selectman, the planning board budget was about 20 grand. And they had almost 10 grand every year in their budget for legal. And we reduced that down, we got them down to, I don't know, 9 or 10 grand at one time there. But then again, they were meeting twice a week too. They were actually doing their job,
Twice a month.
or yeah, twice a month.
And now they're calling off a meeting a month, even though they're not supposed to.
You know, I mean, the last few meetings, from what I understand, were only 11, 12, 13, 14 minutes long. I mean, why aren't they reviewing site plan review and subdivision regulations and our ordinances?
You haven't met since we talked last time, did you?
What's that?
You haven't met with them since last time.
Since the last meeting, no, I haven't. No.
So, but, you know, in reviewing the, you know, expenditures and revenues and the budget, I'd say we ought to keep a close eye on it.
All right. Review update from Code Enforcement Officer of inspection of 9 Hillside Road.
So at the last meeting, you had me task him with going out and reviewing an old building permit. I think it was in 2021, they got the building permit for a 2-car garage. And it appears there may have been some finished space over the top, but he did go out and the owner was happy to let him inspect it, and there is no, it's one big large open area currently being used as storage, no plumbing or sleeping areas whatsoever. So there's no kitchen, no bathroom, no plumbing. he didn't say if it was heated, but I think,
Is this the one that was referred to us?
yes.
Yeah, it's the two-story garage.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it's 2 stories. If you look at the pictures and you just do a reference, it could be a 1.5 story. I personally, I think we should communicate with the owner of the building, either through the code enforcement officer or directly from the select board with a letter of some sort, letting them know that we find it okay the way it is, and that at no point in the future should it become a living space. Something to that effect.
On the sketch, it had said on the setback 10 to 30 feet. Did you
Yeah.
confirm that?
No, I don't think he looked at that, I didn't specifically ask him to, and I was reviewing that again, and I'm not sure that that's a purposeful mistake. I think that the owner didn't know if he should be measuring from the center line of the road, the edge of the road, or the 5-foot right-of-way that the town has in the road. So I think he's giving that 10 to 30 feet based on, if I measure from the edge, it's 10 feet, if I measure from the road, it's 20 feet, if I measure from the center line, it's 30 feet. So I think we probably weren't clear on that. But if you want me to send him back out and measure, I'm sure the owner wouldn't care. I think that's as much our fault for
Right.
not catching it originally as it is his fault for the way because he checked the box that it meets the 25-foot setback.
Right.
But then he puts on the drawing 10 to 30 feet.
Well, that communication is subject to verifying the setback.
Okay. I
Yeah.
get that.
And then, I would put a note in with the assessor, with Jason, to keep an eye on that. Make sure that it does not become a living facility.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, make everybody aware of it, that we know, and it can't happen.
So what are we gonna do if it's only 10 feet from the edge of the road? Are we gonna make him move it?
I'd make him, I'd probably make him go to the zoning board for a variance.
Okay.
I mean, or suggest that, we can't make him do
So you
anything.
want the code enforcement officer to go back out there and measure?
I would think. that
And where
would
is he
be-
measuring from? Edge of road?
I would say the edge of the road.
Okay. You two, Kurt?
I mean, if it's 23.5 feet, I mean,
Right.
I think we can cut some slack. That should have been caught, I don't know who,
It should, and
Who-
that's
who
why I'm saying
approved-
it's not his mistake, it's ours.
Was that Peter?
Carboni.
I mean, Peter should have made a note on that,
Yeah.
that was okay. But then again, on the checklist, it said he meets it.
Yeah, that's what I looked at, but.
And I think we need to do our due diligence and actually take a measurement. And I think a variance would be in order.
See, I think we need to clarify where the measurement comes from first. Edge of road or edge of ditch.
What does the ordinance say?
I don't know.
I don't have ordinances with me.
I'm not looking it up. You got a code enforcement officer, I'm gonna
Yep.
give it to him.
Okay.
Just have them check that setback.
It'd be good to let us know
Yeah.
what he finds, where the line is measured from, as far as the road.
Well, the town doesn't plow that road, I don't believe. That's in Johnson Development, so we don't plow those roads. So that's up to whoever they hire to plow roads. And they don't do a very good job because I went on one of my tours with Steve in the cruiser and, he was barreling through snowbankings and you name it.
I would just be careful about this, because if you force him into a variance and he gets denied, it's our mistake. We allowed it,
Well,
so.
it may not be a situation, let's just verify it, and then make him aware of the building itself, the upstairs.
I thought that's why we had the code enforcement officer go out there, but I'll have the code enforcement officer write a letter too, after he checks the setback.
I mean, we just finished with the other gentleman out there and made him change his cabin back to a shed. I think we should do our due diligence.
If nothing
Yes,
else,
but we didn't
with-
participate in that mistake. That wasn't.
No, I realize that, but,
This mistake.
But if we find
may
that
have
the setback
participated
isn't right, we could at least make note of it.
if nothing else, it has to be fixed for the future, showing the actual
right.
measurement.
But that's my 2 cents.
Town administrator's report.
So, I have a dental procedure next Tuesday. I think I emailed you guys in advance, so I'm gonna take a day off. I'm happy to work Thursday, July 4th. Jim emailed me back and said, don't open on July 4th.
No.
So I'll just take the day as vacation. I have the time, so if you guys are okay with that, I will.
Well,
post it.
either that or, there's a lot of work to be done. Make it up another day.
Yeah,
I think we can be
I
flexible
would
on
say,
that.
take
I
a vacation
mean,
day, I would say.
if you wanna do the following Thursday and make
Well,
up for the day,
so
that's your call.
So I'm interviewing the 3 candidates for town administrator Monday. One of them I'm doing at 4:30 in Wolfboro. So, I mean, that'll be a 10-hour day instead of an 8-hour day, so.
Well, just make up some time.
Yeah.
I just want you to know because the office will be closed and some people might be disgruntled. I'll put it on the website, I'll put it on the door. But, I know sometimes
That's what it is, though.
people want to
Oh,
be
I
in
know.
that day.
Yeah.
And, it's disruptive when you think they're open on Tuesday and you go on Tuesday and they're not open.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
It is frustrating. But I can also leave a note on the door, I'm happy to stay later on night. Like if somebody says I can't get there till 4:30, I'm happy to stay. They just have to let me know and try to accommodate them. Review and discuss updated job description for town administrator. So I was kind of hoping that you guys would have a chance to take a look at this because I really want to be able to give this to the candidates if they ask. So 2 out of 3 of them have already asked me for it. And I said I was just updating it.
Do you need a vote for that?
Yeah, because you
All right.
guys formally
I'll
adopted.
make a motion to approve the job description.
Yeah.
Someone second, then we can discuss it.
Second for discussion.
So it's basically what you had in place in 2020 when I got hired, except it had Kathy's full-time, she was salaried exempt, and it was the hours you were open then. So I changed that top part to reflect what I'm doing right now.
Yep.
And that it's an hourly position, it's more part-time. Obviously, once you find a candidate and you decide what you can afford and what the compensation package is gonna be, if it's, more hours, you could go to salary if it becomes full-time. All of that compensation package and hour stuff will be up for discussion. Maybe you wanna be open more hours. I would recommend that you still not be open all the hours the person is here, so they have some downtime where they can process paperwork, but, this reflects what I'm actually doing and the hours right now, so we have at least a base to start with, and they know what's happening. And when I interview next week, so I have no intention of getting into the compensation package with people, but what I will say is if they ask what I'm earning, that's public information and what my compensation package is, so I would be willing to share that with them, but I'm not going to get into hours, days, pay, benefits. That's gonna be after you guys have a chance to go through the budget and decide. And then also based on the candidate, I'm interviewing 3. I
It's
suspect.
qualifications I've got to figure into it.
Right, and if all 3 of them are good and I think they would be a good fit, then I will bring all 3 of them to you. If I think only 2 of them would, then I'll bring 2. And then you from there on, I'm happy to sit in on it, but that'll be more about you guys figuring out this, this candidate might be need a full-time job and just too much money, and this one might be part-time, but you maybe want the full-time person is more qualified, like, it's just gonna be up to you to figure out what you want and what the town can live with. Budget-wise as well as, you know, skills-wise.
What are
So,
you giving for start date?
I'm really not, because that's a conversation I would like to have with you in non-public session about my leaving, because that's also the compensation of a public employee. And also, I think the next thing that has to happen after this interviewing thing is that you guys need to look at your budget and see, you know, if Kelly stays till October 30th and then works till the end of the year for just insurance, then do we have some more wiggle room with you know, you're gonna have to start looking at that compensation package and see what you've got. And can we offer the person this much in 2024 and then maybe we have to bounce it up in 2025, you know, whatever combination of things. I think you have a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of different ways you can compensate the person.
Yeah.
It's just who
Right.
you're compensating and how and what the budget will tolerate in 2024.
So after you interview, we should be talking to you about the ones you're gonna bring before we bring them in?
Yeah, I think I can give you a heads up on that, but I also think that the next piece is for you to go through the budget with a fine-tooth comb and refresh our memories about what we budgeted, what might be left over,
Yeah.
what I make, what's left in my line, the insurance piece, because it is a compensation package.
Yeah.
And then you and me talk about, hey, I'd really like to be in Georgia on X date.
Yeah.
I'm happy to stay. I kind of need to stay to the end of the year. But it will be more remotely in helping train this person. Also, depending on their skills, they might not need as much training as I
Right.
think. I think they're gonna need Albany training no matter what, but
I think your assessment of their skills would be huge in deciding that,
yeah, I
all of
think
that stuff.
there needs to be some in-person overlap,
Yeah.
just so that we're all sure we're on the same page. But I think once you guys get the right candidate in here, then there's a myriad number of ways that we can train and work those hours out. But I think you gotta know what you're starting with budget-wise.
Well, in order to do that, I think we need some kind of, even if it's different dates, when do you want to leave?
I think they're
Because
gonna have some idea of when they'd be starting a new job, just so
Yeah, I'm
that
sure
they can
that's-
hold out
Well,
far.
they need that, but also we need to find out, like Kelly is mentioning, okay, what is left in that line that we're paying her that could be used for a new person.
So
The way I understand it,
just
you
down
only,
and dirty,
you only put an extra
we
$10,000
put $10,000 in,
in the budget.
planning on
That-
tonight.